Alright YouTube, so I'm gonna bring you guys along today to work on the barn or building or whatever this is considered here. I'm working on electrical today. I need to put up these junction boxes um, just like this, pretty much on every single stud all the way around. I put up these studs here. They're anchored into the ground, as you can see, in the concrete with concrete anchors. But yeah, I sort of did a test line with this. I think it's MX, so you can sort of see goes into the breaker box. Maybe a little bushing you have to have. That goes up top there. I'll walk up here so you can see. You can see sort of that all the way over there. It's clamped down. Put a junction box over here. Right there, you can see it. That's going to be power for the exterior dawn to dusk lights. There's going to be one at each door, one there, and one there. And they're just going to break out of that. One line's going to go all the way across the roof to the light over there. One light's going to be right there, and one's just going to jump to this door. But I guess now I'm going to put up these boxes here. I'll show you guys that, but let me get that set up. I guess before I get too far as well, I'll show you the what I'm going to use to put up these boxes. I'm going to start with this Hitachi drill. It's probably going to run out, I would imagine. I don't know, maybe not. And I got this drill too. It's a Makita hammer drill. But I'm going to start off with this one because its battery is full. And this one's on fast charge right now, but yeah. Alright YouTube, the next step I gotta do is run the Armorlight MX cable. There's a junction box, so you can't see it, hang on. There you go, now you can see it. There's a junction box against that that beam right there. It's gonna split off and power each light above the door, so it's gonna power that one, and the one behind you. I gotta run a line from that junction box. I think I'm gonna go along this beam right here, cross up behind that post, and go up to the middle of that door. That's where I gotta go. Middle of the door so it can run an outdoor light. That's code. There has to be a light outside each door here. But yeah, so I'll bring it. I got one string of wire. I got to make it work. Hopefully, this is long enough. But if you don't know what MX is, it's pretty much armored cable. It's not like Romex. Got the same, very similar wires as Romex. Pretty much the same. Just got this metal industrial coating onto it. But yeah. This is the best thing for the shop. This is called 12-2. Well, that's what we're running. It's this is 20 gauge capable, pretty much. Well, sorry, 20 amp. You can run 20 amps through this. So that's how we're gonna run the lights here. 20 amps is probably overkill for some LED lights outside, but this is what we're gonna use, and we have this wire, so yep. Sit back and watch, I guess. that's pretty much how you route it. I had some difficulty up there because behind that beam is insulation is really tight. So now I'm gonna start on this side and clamp it down on this beam here, and begin a little bit up there. Clamp it down up there, and I'm gonna run it to that pretty much because the light's gonna come through that insulation. I'm not sure if we want to come down through that garage door support behind there, or if we want to drill a hole through that top beam right there and just run the light through. I'll leave that up to some more executive people working on this, but yeah, I guess what I gotta do now is fasten all this. Start back here and pretty much tighten it down. I left about a foot of wire in that junction box to allow for it to be worked on, but I'm gonna go ahead and clamp it down. I think code is 6 inches from the box, and then I did every 2 foot, but I think I'm gonna put it to every 3 foot on this one just because it's already a tight line. So we'll see here. Alright, YouTube, also for you guys non-electrically inclined, to sort of show you what I'm doing a little bit closer up. I ran the wire into that junction box. I was a little generous with the wire. I didn't clip it down over here yet, just give us some slack. We got to get a pushing connector into that. But I did screw it down in there. You can see my screw, it's a clamp. Pretty much see what I'm doing up here. Running this MX cable. Sorry if I call it BX, I'm used to calling it BX. BX is pretty similar, except it uses this outside casing as the ground. But you can see I'm putting these little clamps on it. I'm kind of OCD about the spacing of the clamps, so I put it every 2 foot, which is overkill. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I got it run along here. It goes up behind that I-beam, in the gap in that I-beam, and up top there along that top beam. Haven't figured out how I'm going to do that just yet, so I'm going to work my way up and leave that for another day. But yeah, I'm going to get back to you maybe on a different project I got to do today, because this is probably really boring from a distance. But yeah, let me get back to you when something more interesting comes up. Whoa. Alright, YouTube, I'm above this one garage door here. I just finished running this BX, or sorry, MX. I'll show you a little better how I ran it here. Into that junction box. The hot power is going to come into that and then branch off. One of its, you can see right there. Gonna follow that beam. I got it. Goes back behind that I-beam. And back there, I have it tucked away. You can see it clipped. And then clipped once more. I couldn't use the self-tapping screws really well right here. I mean, I could have, but I would have had to do it with a... Well, I take that back. I could have done it, but I would have to drill the screw from the top and then put the clip on it. I can't fit either one of my drills in this way. You get what I'm saying? So what I would have to do is get one of them self-tapping screws, drill up where I need to drill, and then I would have to come back through that same hole through the top with that same self-tapping screw, which wouldn't have been too bad, but I just didn't feel like doing the hassle. So I just drilled a small hole and used just a screw and washer and nut. Yeah, there you can see. That works okay, and that is a little better for, I guess it's more aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Just having a screw right there instead of like having these self-tapping screws everywhere. But as you can see, there's no shortage of self-tapping screws on this. But yeah, that's how I ran it. That's going to be an outdoor light. I left plenty of slack here for when we put it through. Drilling through the exterior of a building is not a fun process. So I think what I'm going to do, you can see this thing's sort of got a tuck. I think I'm going to tuck it in behind here like that and run it down into this gully and into that. Or what I'll do is I'll find where the light, exactly the center where the light's going to be, and I'll drill like a 1/2 inch hole into the bottom of this beam. And this beam isn't a crazy structural beam. It's just a support beam for the roof, I guess. This is the structural one right here, or one of them. The big one is all the way up there. That's the big, if you need to hang anything, that's what you want to hang it on. But yeah, got this BX line to this exterior light done. I guess I'll get back to you what I got to do next. Alright, YouTube, I'm at this junction box here where the power splits off to the coated exterior lights. Like I said earlier, I had to have an exterior light per door, but this is just branches it off. So this is your hot power coming in. Of course, none of these wires have power on them right now, and neither does there is no power going to the building right now at all. But This being BX, it's a little bit more difficult to install, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for. Normally, if you're going to use like a crimp type compression fitting, you're going to put it in these things, and you have to install like a anti-bushing, some kind of those bushings to keep it from sparking out, I guess is the word, against that. Anti-short bushings, that's the word I'm looking for. These keep it from shorting against the box or the cable's armor. But yeah, if you don't, you have to install those if you're using the screw down type, which is pretty popular. A lot of them, they'll go in here and they'll screw against this and hold it in place, and pretty much it'll be in there. But what I'm using is it's called a double snap. I can't really see if you guys can see it or not, but yeah, it's already got the anti-short bushing into it. That's the red thing. The code inspector or whoever inspects the permit will always be a lookout. Always be on a lookout. Sorry, for these little red things. And these little anti-short bushings, they have a little red flag thing right here that stick out so the inspector can see it. But that's what we got to put in. And as you can see, how these work is this armor cable has sort of links on it, and you push this end into that circle, the knockout on the box, and it clips in, and then you push your BX through that, and it pushes through those teeth, and it locks onto it so you can't pull it back out. But what you want to be careful when doing this is when you're putting the wire through there, the naked wire, not with the armor on it. Be careful not to rub it against those teeth, because those teeth are actually really sharp and will cut up your wire, so you got to be careful with that. But yeah, I'm gonna do this one real quick. Probably the power side first. I just gotta make sure I leave myself enough room here for when I gotta actually wire it. So I'm probably gonna break it off. Now they do make a BX cutter, but it's rather expensive. And from what I've heard, it is a lot easier to go like this. As you can see, I peeled it back. You break the connection, the armor connection, and reverse twist it, I guess is the word, and you get your tin snips and cut that. Get your tin snips and cut that off, and then it's easier to adjust the length of your wire because you can just peel it back as you work. Say you want a little less of the armored cable to get down to here faster, you just peel this back and it'll allow for you to remove some. I know some people just get tin snips and cut right through this, or a hacksaw and cut it, but you can just break it and cut it. But when you do that, just make sure you have a clean edge, and not burred or anything when you go to put it back in. But yeah, put you guys back over here so you can sort of see what I'm doing. You get a better zoom in on it there. All right, so get my tin snips, and you just snip these right like that. You can pull the armor off like that. Once again, be careful with the wire and such. See, that's all it is. It's just like a snaky armor stuff. It's kind of cool, actually. But I'm gonna clean this edge up here like that. I got a little sharp piece down there as well. Just make that nice and flat. And what you want to do, then go like so, and then you're going to put your connector on. But I'm going to actually trim it back just a hair more. I need my pliers for a second, so I'll be right back in a second. Okay, so now it's a little bit cleaner. That should be a better length there, which it is. And that's the length we'll use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these together at the bottom here like that. But I need to get my connector in. Cautiously, of course. I'm going to pull this out. And very carefully thread your wires through there. Be sure not to scrape them against that those teeth. Those teeth will cut that wire up quick. I gotta take this plastic off here. Once again, just be cautious of the teeth. And then bend it into the thing, pull your wires through. Lock your BX connector on, hopefully. There it goes. It's nice and tight on there now. Now you just put your connector in like so. There we go. And that one is connected. Keeps the wires from being damaged as well. Okay, time for this running circuit. Well, not running, but the one that runs to the lights here. Got another connector that I use as well. Same thing. But this one I gotta strip back quite a bit. Off. Like so. Cut this off right here. Make sure there's no damage to any of them. You don't want them to short out in the box. All right. puppy out, just like we did the other one. Cut off the little plastic stuff, that's not necessary. Those are nice and tight. So I think I got my screwdriver up here, but now let me get my screwdriver. Add on to this box extension here. This is code in my, well, not code, but I can do this in my area per code. Just be cautious when you look at your, when you do it. This just gives us a little bit more room to wire tie things, as there's going to be a couple connections in this box. Not like a huge amount or anything, just to power 3 outdoor lights. And you got your power coming in, so really not too much going on. But it's going to be hard if you to wire nut all of them if you don't.